Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Sheka Houston,
And I am Tammy Taylor.
and thank you all for joining us in the Real Academy for our end of year reflections. This has been an awesome year. So many things have happened. We just decided that we wanted to come on and make sure that we thank everyone who has been such a great support. There has been an outpouring of support, and we just really appreciated it. So we really wanted to make sure that we express our gratitude, and just give our reflections for this year. In the midst of a pandemic, it has truly been a blessing, everything that has occurred for us and with you all. So thank you all for joining us.
Hey,
How's
Sinitra.
your day been, Tammy?
It's been good. Hi, Sinitra. So glad that you joined on with us. It's been
Yeah.
good, Shika. How about you? What you been up to today?
Well, it has been a very eventful day for me. Apparently, there are very few people that are working. So,
Mm.
when I did go to Starbucks the other day, no one was in there. It was completely empty. And that was for the
Wow.
girls, because everybody who knows I'm on that health kick knows I don't drink all that sugary stuff from Starbucks, but I did get my girls attached to Frappuccinos. So that's what we were going for. Today at the bank, only two people showed up. So what should have taken
Ooh.
maybe 15 minutes took about an hour and a half or 2 hours, but it's okay. It's still all good.
Yes, it is a great experience to even be here to get to the bank, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I want to tip people just for showing up for work.
Oh, yes. So
Yeah.
your break going well?
It is. It's going well. I've gotten a lot of stuff done. So,
Good, good, good.
getting a lot of stuff checked off. Hello, Cindy. Thank you for joining us, and Jasmine.
Hey, guys.
So, we are going to get right into it. As you all know, we are the co-owners together of Create and Educate, where we provide professional development and tips and practical strategies for leaders and educators on Saturdays at 10:30 through our Real Academy and our five super strengths that we have coined. And we also have the collaborative platform where we collaborate with leaders, educators, parents, community members, authors in order to make things better in education, because we just feel like sometimes that when we first started this entire platform, the thing that was missing at the beginning of the pandemic was that there were so many people pointing fingers, so many problems, but no one was coming together to talk. So we created this platform in order to be able to do that with the collaborative, and we extended it for Saturday PD with the Real Academy. So there has been just lots of expressions of gratitude, and I was just going to read a few things that we've received as far as feedback, because we do appreciate it, and you do like to, feel like what you're doing is actually helping people. So we are thankful that several people have found our work to be beneficial and helpful to them, and we hope to continue that work throughout the year in 2022. So I'm just going to read a few messages that we received by email and messenger, and Tammy probably has some as well. Dr. Houston, I appreciate your Saturday presentation on the Real Academy. There is nothing better than seeing two powerful sisters leading the work. Thank you. So that was very encouraging. Thank you so much. And this is one where you and Miss Taylor did an awesome job this morning. Lots of great information and tons of encouragement. Bless you both. And this last one, you all are very inspiring. You have no idea what it means to see what you and your team are doing, not just doing, but doing consistently with style and grace. So, those messages of encouragement are truly appreciated. And we just appreciate everyone that shows up for us. When we come on, you're collaborating with us in the comments. You all have great things going on. And speaking of some people, we want to give some shout outs to Josh Tovar, principal out of Texas, is definitely someone we're very appreciative to. When I first heard Principal Kafele mention Josh on his platform, he tells people to check out so and so, go to their page. And I did. And I saw where Josh had yes, he created the Fantastic Five PD. This was without us even asking him to create the graphics. He just had it all going. So we are
Yes.
very appreciative to Josh, and he's connected us to so many people, to include the great gentleman. And here's another one, AJ Bianco. Thank you for joining us
Yeah.
from Unlock the Middle. And I have had the pleasure of gracing Unlock the Middle's platform. That platform is phenomenal. AJ does a great job. Josh does a great job. And Chris and Dean, great job with the collaborations and the round tables. That's what all of this is about, people coming together to do great work. And I just want to add that as a African American female in leadership, sometimes the spaces are not very inclusive. So I really appreciate the fact that everyone in our network, to include Josh, Dean, Chris, AJ, just very inclusive. There has not ever been a time where I didn't feel like I should not be a part of something. So I want to commend those gentlemen for that, because that is a very real thing that doesn't happen everywhere. So thank you all for setting that example and that precedent for others to follow.
And Josh, just to echo Sheka's gratitude, I want to say thank you as well. But we also want to just make sure that everybody, and I love this hashtag, stronger together. I want everybody to understand that that is the power of a real collaborative group that we are so blessed to be a part of, because you don't find that level of support everywhere. Sometimes the people who you know the best and you work the closest with are not the most supportive, but it is just so encouraging, and it is a true inspiration to have folks across the country. You got Josh all the way out in Texas, and others of them who I think are like in Massachusetts, and Principal Cafele's in New Jersey, and Principal Hurd is in Detroit. We're like, we have this network of support across the country that allows us and supports us to do the work that we're doing. So we're very, very thankful. And I just want to say that we also are thankful for you all, for the support that you give, because you all join us Saturday after Saturday
Yes.
and are with us to hear what we are trying to share from the experiences that we've had, to encourage other people so that they can have better experiences and don't necessarily have to fall into the same pitfalls that we've experienced. And so, as we are doing the work that we do to try to move education as a whole forward, it's very, very encouraging to know that you have folks who are there to support you and to be a part of the work that you do. And then we have those people who are willing participants, and we get energy from you guys, because when we get you saying, oh yeah, this is exactly what we needed, today was great because this gave us the motivation to go on to do the next big thing that you have to do. Sheka was reading some of the messages that we've gotten, and it just brought to mind one, and I don't have it in front of me, but the general message from the individual was, and this wasn't a text. I think this was maybe a telephone call that we were on.
Mhm.
Who said, I was just about at this point of saying, I'm done. Education is just not my thing.
Mhm.
I just was about to throw in the towel, but what you all shared this morning really has motivated me to want to stay. I want to stick around, but I have to be transparent and say that I need some help. I need somebody to support me in this work that I'm trying to get done. And it just brings us joy to be the people who can provide that layer of support to other educators so that we can serve our children.
Definitely, Tammy. And those are the types of things that we both know that we needed when we were at the beginning phases of our leadership journey. There wasn't a lot of support. So we did find some people. We had one another. We've coined each other as one another's trust mates, and without one another and the people that we reached out to, it would have actually been a very unpleasant experience. So we are thankful that we're able to pay it forward to other people and just let people know, like, when you don't have that level of support in your district, definitely don't sit out there in a silo. Reach out to us, other people in our networks, because that's what we want to do. We want to be that encouragement, that help, that support that we know that we need it, and that's
Yes.
important. A lot of times in leadership and administration, you hear the glitz and the glam stories, but sometimes you don't hear those pitfall stories, or those stories that aren't so forthcoming, because everyone wants to make sure that they're being politically correct, or they're not um, upsetting the wrong people, and they don't want to get a target on their backs, and this, that, and the other. But we were in a position where I think it's fair to say um, people probably wanted to silence us. But when you want to be silenced, what do? You start your own podcast. So here we are.
We just started talking to each other.
Right.
That's what we decided. You need someone to help you to get through what you have to get through, because the biggest part of the work that we try to do is just keeping it real. That's a part. The Real Academy for
Yes.
us is very personal, because we are two individuals who truly do keep it real. And I want to just make sure that we don't forget to say this, Sheka, because I saw that Josh had mentioned Dr. Roz, because she
Hmm.
also has been
She's
um,
on the list too.
very supportive. And
Hmm.
we are very thankful and appreciative of the work that she does and the support that she's provided to us, Dr. Sharon. I mean, the
Yes.
list can go on and on and on and on. And we will say a proper thank you to folks, because again, without that support and undergirding, it's hard to get that work done. But the power in what Sheka has just shared is the thing that was great for us is we did have each other,
Hmm.
because we were there to work through this together. It was less of a burden because we were kind of leaning on one another and holding each other up. But when you don't have that, don't allow yourself to be broken by the weight of what's going on. If you need support, that's what we're here for. And we're more than happy to continue to provide that layer of support. And when we talk about being collaborative, that's something that we mean sincerely, because as Shika said, when it was time to be quiet, we had decided it didn't matter who didn't want to hear what we were saying. If nobody else was listening, we could listen to each other. And so we
Exactly.
started the conversation.
Right.
And that's how this has evolved over time. We were able to talk each other through some very, very difficult times and off some ledges that were like, um, we didn't even know what the next move needed to be. So we do
Exactly.
understand. Um, and that we take that all the way back to 2020. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and we moved into 2021. This year has been, as Sheikah said, we've had some personal things that have, kind of come and been very just unsettling. It was a complete surprise. Like you're just taken by storm by some of the things that happened. That just happened because life is life. But
Right.
through all of that, like through everything that has been circumstantial, through all of the things and the ups, the downs, it has been an incredible year of growth for us. We've
Mm-hmm.
grown as individuals, we've grown professionally. And again, much of that success that we've experienced this year has been because of people like you who support.
Definitely. And Kimberly, thank you for your comment. We really appreciate that. And we really, again, are very happy that this is helpful. And to be honest, being a part of the platform and starting the platform really helped us as leaders to help our staffs to transition to something that was new, because now that I'm using new technology, now that I am doing a lot more things virtually, as I become more comfortable with it, now I can model that for my staff. So this entire process has been very beneficial to us in that lens as well. And one other thing, a lot of times I said before that the industry of administration and leadership is a male dominated field, and there are some great males in the field who are very inclusive, like the ones that we mentioned. But the other part of that is the business that we do with workshops and professional development and speaking is also a more male dominated field, just because of the nature of what is happening, traveling to different cities every week is a lot of times not really that conducive for women who may have children or who may have families or just who are not even comfortable traveling that way. So the other thing that this has done is opened another avenue for us to be able to share our voices and our thoughts and the information that we have, where we may not be able to travel, but we can do things virtually. So just because you may feel like, oh well, I don't ever see myself doing that, because that was the mind frame that I was in. This really opened up or made a mind shift for us to say, well, hey, there is an opportunity for us to be able to do this. It just may not be in a traditional format. So the pandemic has been helpful in that way.
And don't you think that it also has helped us to really hone in on those things? Because when you see the struggles that are a part of your reality, it
Hmm.
helps you to be able to provide some structure and support protocols, whatever you need to put in place to make that better in your particular situation. And so when you contextualize what's happening and you're willing to share that with other people, I think that people appreciate it
Yes.
and take, very, very kindly to the fact that, hey, these people are trying to help us with what could potentially be disastrous, because some of the things that we we've gone through are are not necessarily of our making, but
Hmm.
because we went through it, we can help someone else to maybe skirt it. You don't have to go through that. You can go around it, or you can go
Exactly.
over that, because and it is one of those things. Because as cliche as it sounds, sometimes it just is what it is. And for that particular situation we were faced with at that time, it was what it was.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you totally. And Sanitra, thank you for your comment, and we have appreciated your support, even coming to the
Definitely.
lunch and learn.
Yeah.
It just being able to collaborate with you has been, phenomenal. Thank you for joining us, Lamont. Your support has definitely been tremendous. We appreciate you and everything that you do with higher definition radio.
Yeah.
And we're just glad that we're, able to support one another.
For sure. We are excited too that you've been as supportive as you have been of
Definitely.
our platform. So thank you so, so much.
And Principal Kafele, you joined us right at the right time.
Hey,
Good
Principal
evening.
Kafele.
Thank you for joining us and for your support.
Yes,
We've talked earlier about how sometimes in our field in administration as well as speaking, that is really sometimes a male dominated field, but you have definitely been that person that has extended us, very much been collaborative with us and inclusive, and could have just said, these ladies are not on any type of level with me, but you have
who is that?
exactly
Who?
been just so supportive and just inspirational. Everything that you have done and that you do is inspiring, and we really appreciate you. We don't take it lightly. We appreciate the fact that you've had us on your platform to be interviewed, and just appreciate the doors that has opened for us. So thank you for everything
Definitely.
that you've done to support us on this journey.
And we have to say, Principal Kafele, it's one of those things where you epitomize what it means to be a Black um, educator who is on the rise, where you see that that whole everything that we represent as a community lived through your experiences, because we really believe each one can reach one. You're
Mhm.
not at all selfish in the promotion of the work that we've tried to do or we're trying to do. And you just can't imagine how much that means to us to have someone like you who says, hey, you come on with it. We were about to have a nervous breakdown when you had us on. And I didn't even know if we were going to be able to do it. And we got that text, or maybe it was an email from you that said,
Email.
"You guys got it. You're going to be fine. This is cool. You got this." And I thought, okay, so we were able to get through that. And I'll just be honest with you, I think that was one of the pivotal moments of 2021 for us.
Mhm.
I think that was a catalyst for some of the other work that we've been able to do, and also for some folks who are a part of the community that you have built around that virtual AP
Yes.
Academy, which is absolutely an incredible, incredible tool, resource that is a part of our education system right now. Folks have reached out to us from there to say, hey, yeah, we saw you guys on with Principal Kafele. Can you elaborate on something that we were talking about? And that real framework really was something that took root there. So we do thank you. And we
Yes.
really appreciate your support.
And just a funny story, when one of the assistant principals saw Principal Kafele speak, I believe it was in Atlanta most recently, she said, and we live in a small rural town. Most people don't know where Chester is or have ever heard of it. We always have to reference Charlotte, North Carolina, or Columbia, South Carolina. But she messaged me and said, "You and Principal Taylor are famous." When I talked to Principal Kafele, he said, "Oh, do you know Principal Taylor and Dr. Houston?" And I said, "No, we're not famous, but
Yeah,
we
he's
are
just a
blessed."
kind gentleman. We
Yes,
are so blessed. And you remember
yes.
I told you Tammy did that same thing. He said good morning to us on the virtual AP Academy one morning, and she said, "Did I just hear Principal Kafele say good morning to you?"
Yeah, just blessed to be a part of a very great network of people. So we really thank you, Principal Kafele, and we appreciate you. And like we've said, everyone who tunes in to our Saturday PDs with us on the Real Academy at 10:30. Mr. Hicks is a frequent person that's on with us. Jasmine, all the way from California, where it's early in California at 10:30. So
It
we
is.
appreciate your support, as well as
In the
Tanisha
Alaska, we have
mentioned.
somebody that logs on from Alaska.
Yes. So, we don't take any of this lightly, and we take the work very seriously, and we hope that with our work you can see the passion that we have, not just for the children, but we know that being able to reach the children, a part of that is being able to provide the real resources that educators need, things that are practical, things that we needed that we didn't have. So we're very passionate about making sure that we pay that forward, and that we are a part of the work, because there's still so much work to be done, that we definitely want to be a part of that in doing.
And we are so, as Sheka said, emboldened by the fact that we are able to be practical. Like when we talk to you about what we're talking with you about, we're not talking with you from just a textbook. Of course, we're reading and researching and doing the same things that you guys are doing as well. But when we're talking with you, we're talking with you from a practitioner's perspective, because what we're saying is based on the work that we've done, the work that we're doing, so that again, we can help someone in a way that we didn't necessarily get that support except from one another. So it's
Exactly.
a very important part of who we are. And when we say that we're keeping it real, we really are keeping it real. And when we're transparent with you, that is just because that's who we are. That's what we bring to you, and we bring that to you so that you can hopefully benefit from and learn through some of the things that we've had to experience along our leadership journey, which has been very eventful.
It has not been a dull moment yet. Thank you, Mr. Hicks. We appreciate you making that comment and your support and tuning in. And there's a list of people that we want to thank everyone, but there are some people that we definitely want to mention by name. Dr. Sharon Porter is one of them. We were a part of the book collaboration for Women Who Lead, a part of her virtual summit that she held. And all of that was just a phenomenal experience. We are forever grateful to her for including us and inviting us to be a part of that. Um,
Yes. Thank
as
you, Dr.
Josh,
Sharon.
yes. Also, Dr. Chester, who is the co-founder of Black Educators Rock. She has definitely been a support and very inclusive. We share in her groups and on her platform. So being able to get the word out, that has definitely been a great support and a great help. So we're thankful for her for also being inclusive.
And one thing we can say, she could hear, and I know it's not, we're not ashamed
Mhm.
to, I guess, so it's a shameless plug here, but one of the things I think that started us to really begin to see things differently was our first experience at that BR conference, where we were introduced to, now we had already had the fortune of learning from Principal Kafele at that time, but
Mhm.
some of the other folks who were part of that experience were the eye-opening folks that we needed to have some exposure to. So we do appreciate the work that you do, Dr. Chester. And you don't know, or you may know, but if you don't, we want to just say that there is truly power in that BER conference that you put on, because you bring some of the most I'm talking world renowned
Yes.
folks in to really pour into Black educators, and that is life changing.
Most definitely. And like you said, Tammy, we met so many people there. And Principal Sean Hurt, who I had known before we went there, was one of the reasons that we decided to attend,
Right.
because, as she said earlier, sometimes people think, oh, well, it's a Facebook group, but he was explaining how, no, the conference is this and this person's going to be there. So we attended, and it was the most phenomenal conference that we have attended to date. We met Dr. Akua there, Principal
Principal Presley.
Presley.
Yeah.
Yes. So just so many phenomenal people who are doing great work in the field, and who we've been able to connect with to continue to do great work with. So Principal Hurt encouraged us to actually start our platform and our business. So we are really just thankful to him for that push, for that encouragement. He is one of the most encouraging people that I know, and just really sees things in people, and expresses that to people. So one of the
He
things.
does, and I think she gets it's worth us just saying, just like Principal Kafele offers that strong mentorship and doesn't hold back from it because he believes in bringing you along with
Mhm.
him. Principal Hurt has that same spirit about him.
He does. He really does. And we are really thankful to him. And one of the best pieces of advice that I have received came from Principal Hurt when we first started out. Tammy, I don't know if you remember when we were talking about like our vision and where we thought we wanted to go, and he said, "Well, you're thinking small." I'm like, "What?" you know so that made me start to think more outside of the box, to where, yeah, maybe I am limiting myself into certain spaces, and when you take those limitations off, you're able to see yourself in spaces that you would not have thought would have happened.
And he did. He said that, like, you ladies, what do you mean?
Right.
You ladies are gonna do way more than that. I was like, I
So
don't know if
that.
we're ready for this or not.
Right. So that was very encouraging, and to have people like that in your life is truly a blessing.
It
So
really is.
we are also very thankful for him. As Josh mentioned, Dr. Roz, very supportive. She has even been on our platform, even to fill in some spaces where Tammy, when you were out for a death, we have been on her platform. We've been on the Unlock the Middle and several other platforms, higher definition. Just, we really appreciate all of the support that we've received to date from so many people, so many places. And this past year, we have had the collaborative on Tuesdays, where we collaborate with parents, educators, community members, the authors. Next year, we will continue with those two platforms, the Real Academy on Saturdays, as well as the collaborative on Tuesdays. But we do want to expand the collaborative. Several of you that join in with us, like Mr. Hicks and Jasmine and Miss Williams, you all have some great experiences as well that we would like to highlight. So that platform will be to be able to highlight some people in the industry and education, and even parents are still able to join us, because again, that collective conversation is important for us to really be able to do the work that we need to do with our children. Everybody needs to be at the table. But we really want to expand that to be able to highlight more people and to hear more voices. So some of you that join us on Saturdays, we'll be reaching out to you to be able to join us on those first Tuesdays of the month when we broadcast from the collaborative.
Definitely.
And with our story time segments, we will not be hosting those, but what we're going to do, because we are collaborators, we will be collaborating with multiple of our storytime partners. Reading with Carrie Lee is one of them. Her storytime platform is phenomenal. Reading with Miss Pat, reading with Mr. Lamata, and also Storytime with Miss McGriff. So on those Tuesdays where we were hosting our own story time, we will be promoting their story times and any of the authors that we work with, because we do work with children's book authors, we will be referring them to those platforms to be able to have their stories heard by the audiences that they have already developed. And in place of that, we will have I know you saw Josh's comment earlier about the 10,000 steps. And if you're friends with me on Facebook or Josh, that has been a very big thing. And even Principal Kafele mentions it at the ends of his broadcast about staying healthy. Because one of the things that when we talk about adult SEL and making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, we really do need to make sure our health is a priority. So we will have some people that we're going to collaborate with for Wellness Wednesdays. Josh has started our 10,000 step club, and I've been posting every morning about my workouts. So we really want to promote health and wellness. We've talked about the ACEs study on our Saturday broadcast before and just how trauma can impact people's health. And if you really don't have a good grasp around making sure you're getting your mental health as well as your physical health seen to, you really are not at your best to be able to pour into the lives of other people. So that's something that we'll be collaborating with Josh and some others on. And he's on the treadmill right now. And where am I at, Josh? I'm at 4862. So I'll be working out after this to get to my 10,000 steps. But these accountability partners that we've adopted have helped in that. So that'll be something new, as well as an authors roundtable where children's book authors as well as other authors can come together to talk about marketing and sales of their books, how to get started, because there are so many people with great stories that want to get into being a published author, that we think that those stories will be able to help them as well. Anything else you wanted to add, Tammy? Did we miss
Just one
anybody?
of the things that we probably want to just let people know is forthcoming. One of the things that was a phenomenal, or is being a phenomenal close to the year, Principal Kafele decided that he was going to celebrate Kwanzaa so that he could educate us, those of us who are learning about it this week. And so we have been completely inspired. We were able to see he and Dr. Akua in complete amazement when they were helping us to understand how the principles of Kwanzaa can impact student achievement. So one of the things that we're planning to do next year is to also, we've done the 12 days of Christmas before, but we want to do a celebration around Kwanzaa next year, and we're going to be highlighting those principles that we are learning about and are so powerful in life. Not just, and that's the thing that I think has been the most profound for me, Sheka, is it isn't just about these days of Kwanzaa, but those are principles to live by in life. So
Exactly.
we want to make sure that you guys know that you can look forward to that. That's going to be something that we are committing to doing, and having literature that helps to support that we can share during that time to close out the 2022 year, just like we're being able to do this year as we learn.
Definitely, Tammy. And last but not least, we have been able to form some phenomenal partnerships that we're very thankful for. We're very thankful for our partnership with the Pear Institute and Dr. Gil Nome from Harvard Medical School, as well as the gentleman from EduMonitor. We formed a partnership with them, and all of those things have really afforded us the opportunity to make sure that we are continuing to offer those of you that are tuning in each week phenomenal resources. Some of the resources that Dr. Gil Nome has access to, he's been able to write a grant for us to offer you free books on belonging. EduMonitor has the great resources at really great prices for remediation for math. And we're actually, we'll be working with them next year on developing their curriculum around the language arts portion of that. So we're just very thankful. Just you all have been a blessing. The platform
Definitely.
in itself has been a blessing to connect us with people from across the country that would not have happened had we not been pushed and encouraged to step out and put ourselves out here and just really share our stories as well as our practices and what we do that we feel like could help other people.
And to stay with it. That's the thing that I think has been powerful for us too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it isn't all sunshine and rainbows and roses, because sometimes it gets very overwhelming, but you have people who are encouraging you and saying, nah, you got this. Keep with
Right.
it. We appreciate what you're doing. What you're doing is important work. So keep doing it. Um, and then I think another thing, Shika, that we probably can just give a tiny bit of a spoiler to is my work with the my dissertation. My theoretical framework is around Africana womanism. So that, just like we were talking about those principles of Kwanzaa being things that you live by, the
Mhm.
characteristics that are a part of Africana womanism are just those things that make us who we are, and those lived experiences are the things that help us to be the kind of people that we are just generated to be. So
Mhm.
we're going to be providing some not I won't say PD, but we're going to be doing some of that work so that people can appreciate what that is going to offer to us. And we start that conversation. My next blog with NWEA comes out on February 1st.
Mhm.
And that piece is centering around sisterhood. And a large part of African womanism is being genuine in the sisterhood.
I can't wait to read it. And I just want to commend Tammy because, most people write dissertations, but nobody actually wants to read them. I read her first chapter. It is phenomenal. And what
Shika.
she's focusing on is Africana womanism. And it is just really a great thing that if you've never heard of it, we are very excited to be able to educate everyone on it and bring it to the forefront. And we also have to thank Dr. Hudson Weems
Absolutely.
because her work in that area is
Phenomenal.
just phenomenal.
Yes. And I
So
look forward to us being able to share from that perspective and through those lens, because I think it will help us to be better in the work that we do, because it'll be something that we can understand.
definitely. And the last thing, and because we only planned to be on here 20 minutes and now we're 20 minutes over.
Yeah.
So, but
And
as
we need to get
principal,
off because Principal Kafele is on at 8. So we're going to get out of here.
I think he's talking about I don't, is he talking about the treadmill or actually on? I'm not sure.
Oh,
We
I
got to
don't
find
know.
out.
We have
But
to check and see.
one thing, and as he has said, it takes as long as it takes. So, the last thing, we are very thankful to have been able to host a symposium this year that was very successful. So everyone who was a part of that, Coach Carlos came down to be a part of that event,
You did,
Principal
yes.
Hurt, Sinitra that I mentioned, several people here locally, Dr. Carter was a part of that. Nika,
Dr. Akua,
yes, Dr.
Bill,
Akua, Dr.
Josh.
Nome, Principal Tovar was a part of that. And we definitely have to make sure that we highlight our superintendent, Dr. Antoine Sutton, who is very supportive of our work and what we do, has not tried to silence us, but his
Very
premise is,
encouraging.
yes, very encouraging. And you don't find that in every district, I promise you. There would have been some people that have told us, well, either you want your job or you want to continue doing a podcast. Is it paying you? So,
And now what are you talking about on there? He's very, very
exactly.
supportive.
Just
And
very supportive, very encouraging, and just a model of what a superintendent really should be, because it shouldn't be all of this stress and pressure, or feeling as if you can't help other people with your practices and speaking your truth. So he's very supportive in that aspect, and we don't take that lightly. We do
not
appreciate
at all.
all of
And
his.
don't you think, Shika, another part of what's really good about the way that Dr. Sutton supports is he appreciates the message. Like
Yes,
tell the story. Like you need to, if you can help somebody with the experiences that you've had, help them.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's more of what we need. I don't think we have a lot of that in education. It's very, political oriented, which sometimes makes it very unattractive. But what Dr. Sutton, his level of support and the ways that he supports us is more of what the superintendency should look like.
Yes.
So, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you.
And thank
Um,
you for a great 2021.
yeah,
Listen, and we would be remiss if we did not say thank you to and honor the one that has allowed this to be such for us, and that is our Father, who
yes,
has truly blessed us in ways that we will never ever be able to tell you. You couldn't begin to understand how much God has favored and blessed us. So we are just so very thankful to him and to our families who supported us. We have family who join just about everything we do. Your aunt Virginia is
yes, she
on.
does.
Your mom and my folks get to it because they're like me and not real Facebooky, but they get to it, and so it's just been incredible to have the level of support that we've had from on high, but also from those that are closest to us.
Amen. And the thing that I'll add to that, I was asked one time how I felt about there being a separation of church and state, but being a person that is of faith. And my response was, if people see me, then they see he who is within me. So even though there may be a separation, if I am there, then they get to see what the work that I'm trying to do to continue um, the work to build the kingdom being done daily and what I do. That's what I pray to do. I sometimes I fall short, but that's my hope. That's what it's seen.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, Mr. Davis, and we appreciate all of
Yeah.
your support.
Yes, yes, we do appreciate you supporting us every week.
Yeah.
And guys, again, thank you all so, so much. And we hope you have a very, very wonderful New Year's Eve. Be safe. And we're encouraging folks to be responsible so that you can stay safe and stay healthy. Because as Shika said, that's something that we all must commit to in order to be impactful to other people. So we won't necessarily, we will see you Saturday. So we can say Happy New Year
Yeah.
to you actually on Saturday, but have a wonderful wonderful New Year's Eve. And however you choose to bring that in, we pray that it is to a blessing for you that you enter into 2022.
Definitely. Thank you all again, as Tammy said, for a great 2021. And we look forward to seeing a blessed 2022 with you. Thank you all for joining us.
God
Good
bless.
night.